This is another episode shot on location at Lemkes in Cape Town. Tonight, we're talking about the Air Jordan 13. A lot of knowledge, a lot for you to learn. Just stay tuned. This is episode 2 of Soul Knowledge Season 4. It's going to be a good one. Welcome back to Soul Knowledge, the home of the sneaker story and the home of sports culture insights. I'm your host, Bernie Wickham, and I'm the sneaker evangelist. This episode, as mentioned before, is being shot live in Lemkes Sports in Cape Town. What I will be doing is a separate episode where I share some insights into the store itself and what it means to sneaker culture within South Africa. So, like, follow, subscribe on these channels to learn a bit more. And don't forget, at the end of every single episode, I reveal one sneaker in 1 second. Let's see if your eyes are sharp enough this week. 1997 was the year of the Air Jordan 13. And the design was actually quite unique in the way Tinker, as you would expect, and Michael had gone about with the shoe in its inspirational phase. This time, Tinker did not involve Michael in the process at all. He took it upon himself to just have a look at the way Michael plays. And in watching the way Michael plays, he actually surmised that Michael plays like a cat, very stealthy in his approach. And he took his design inspiration from a black cat. Interestingly enough, Tinker did not even realize that Michael's friends called him the black cat on the scene. But that inspiration was strong, and there are multiple elements of the feline that has made itself visible within the shoe. Let's break it down. So although the Air Jordan 13 originally launched in this color, which is the black toe, all of the stories don't particularly come together when you look at that color specifically. And for this reason, I'm going to be running the story through with the bread colorway. This is why it's significant. Now remember, the inspiration is a cat. So the first thing that you see at first glance, having a look at the 13s, is that it actually looks like a cat's paw chilling in that resting position. Nice and thick, but just like a cat's paw. The second piece about the paw is that when you turn it upside down, it also resembles the paw-like detailing on the herringbone traction. The next piece of significance is the use of suede. Now it's quite interesting because yes, it has a suede upper, but it even has suede curving through on that midsole over there. And what suede delivers is a nice soft plush, as if you are stroking a cat. So that's not just adding a beautiful aesthetic, it's also just a good feel that talks into that feline understanding. The next detailing talking into that cat, you'll see positioned on the upper is almost a dimple-like aesthetic. That is actually meant to signify what a cat's paw prints would look like, whether it be on sand, but still in a very stealthy way. So subtle dimples coming through that upper, and that's kind of just like a cat walking on sand. The next piece, and the most obvious in the silhouette, is the hologram eye, which actually represents the eye of a cat. But here's what's critical. The black pieces over here on the upper is actually woven in with reflective Scotchlite. So you can imagine a cat at night as you are driving and you are seeing those eyes reflect. Exactly as a cat's eyes would, this upper would reflect with Scotchlite when you have a look at it. Now, although Tinker already hit the aesthetics of it, let's understand how those aesthetics play into performance. The first piece of that cat's paw means that it is actually wide set on the court. That means that the athlete is sitting low to the ground and has a means of having immediate traction as they pivot left and right through the court. The second piece, and considering that this has got to be a very stealthy shoe, Tinker uses a full-length Zoom Air cushion within the 13s. Now remember the Air episode, when we spoke about Zoom Air, we mentioned that Zoom Air is meant to be low profile, keeping you close to the center of gravity, and also responsive enough to get in and out with speed. Now think about the feline. As it approaches the prey, it's got to be focused, it's got to be quick, and it's got to be stealthy. That's why Zoom Air makes sense. The entire upper is built with an extra thick cushioning, which means that as the player is playing, the foot is well protected with high support and even an exaggerated ankle support as it folds the ankle with this asymmetric back. So highly supportive, solid traction, and also a strong means of actually fitting the player on the ground. But below that Zoom Air cushion, is a carbon fiber plate positioned all the way through over here. Now that carbon fiber plate means that it doesn't matter how much effort you put into it, it's still going to keep your foot stable and your eye on the ball so that you don't have to worry about what's happening on your feet. That's the summary of the Air Jordan 13. So with the launch of the shoe, this was the first colorway. What is called the black toe, but later generations have actually referred to it as a different name, and it's been called the He Got Game. It's obviously because it featured in the movie He Got Game starring Denzel Washington. That's why this would be familiar, or under a different name as you would understand it. But in the first launch of the Jordan 13, there were 7 colors, 5 of which were high, 2 are lows, and this is what they look like. Number 1, the black toes. Number 2 was the Chicago. Number 3 was the Flint Grey. Number 4 was the Playoffs. Number 5 is the infamous Breads. And the last 2 were the Jordan Lows. And that was the Carolina Blue with black and the Chutneys, which I absolutely love and I should have bought when I first saw them out at retail. That was the launch colorway. So just in closing, I want to tell you that this is one story that when I started Soul Knowledge, I knew I had to tell. It's so close to my heart, and it's a pair of sneakers, the Jordan 13s, that I've wanted for so long. There were so many opportunities where I could get them, but I just did not have enough money. And thank goodness that these things are reissued and you can get another bite at them. So if you don't have a pair of Jordan 13s, just make sure that next time it comes out that you can get that drop, because this is something really special and one of my favorite Jordan silhouettes. In saying that, that's it for this episode. And I want to let you know that this is the first time that Soul Knowledge has actually been filmed in front of a live studio audience. So just as chance would have it, I'd like to thank the guys from Lemkes, who are obviously here, and the guys from Yo Mzansi Sneakers. What a special group of people, and guys, thanks for the support, and let's just see what happens as you learn more.